Greetings, my brothers and sisters in Christ. I want to welcome you back to part 2 of our segment today of Matters of the Heart Radio Ministry with your radio host personality, Princess Denise Wright, and my co-host, Bishop Judy Rivers. I hope that you were listening to our first segment as we interviewed Brother Eddie Mosby. Was it, Judy? Mosby, okay. Original singer of the Florida Spiritual Airs. So I was really blessed by that. And if you heard that song, you should still be on cloud 99 like I am right now, okay? It was truly good. So we're ready now for part 2 of our broadcast today with some special guests. Since they came in the door today, I've just made it my business like I've been knowing them for years, because I got in the studio with me Gina and Lacey. Is it Lacey? Yeah. And Lacey. Gina and Lacey. And we're going to have some little more information shared with you by Bishop Judy on these two great women that we have in the studio with us as they come forth with some information you want to hear about for your children. This school and next school term, you may be interested in getting them enrolled at this school. I'm going to share that. I'm going to hold back on that until you hear it from them. But without further ado, okay, Bishop Judy, what you got here, girl?
I'm just so blown away because I watched this vision of where they are grow in our community over the last several years. And it was so good to see kind of a private facility or an education facility that was actually in the heart of our community coming up and really advancing so much, because we watched y'all sprout like a banyan tree. Okay, let me say that. I remember this little tiny building going up, and all of a sudden there were 2, and there was more, and there was a basketball court. And so I watched it, and it's so beautiful now to sit there. And I'm talking about nothing other than Academy Prep. It is our honor today to have Gina and Lacey with us. And Gina is the Director of Education, I believe, at Academy Prep. So welcome to the studio.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
Oh, come on now. It's got to be great to be here.
That's right.
We're looking forward to hearing all of the great things that are going on over at Academy Prep, which is on 22nd Avenue South, and how it's flourished. You guys are beautiful on that corner. You're going to take over that whole... I remember when Gibbs High School was like this big, and then all of a sudden it's Gibbs Academy now and University out there.
Absolutely.
So I pray that blessing upon Academy Prep. God bless you.
Amen. Well, we're ready. We're ready.
Share a little bit. And you know what? Let me say this, because I'll probably forget. You just won the Urban League Award last night, I think. I don't know, it was sometime this week or something, because of the academic performance and the excellence that you have there. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
I'm talking to Gina now because she's the director, and I heard you got an award. So come on, tell us about all the great things you're doing at Academy Prep.
Okay. Well, as you just shared, it's been now existing over 22 years.
Wow.
22 years?
It's hard to believe.
Oh, my goodness.
Hard to
We
believe.
drove by that first
years.
building. Isn't that amazing? And so we're blessed. We
Yes.
really are.
Amen.
22 years.
Yeah, and the vision really of the founder, he and his wife actually own the Trade Winds Resort, in
Wow. Guess what? I'm going to take all of my vacation holidays. I want to support somebody who's going to do that to our community.
So Joan and Jeff Fortune.
Okay.
Fortune.
And so basically what had
goodness.
happened, and I don't know if a lot of people really even know that story, but they
We
had
do now.
Tell us the story.
So
Tell
while
us the
their
story.
employees, they when they decided to retire, they said, what can we do for our employees? They
Wow.
were very dedicated to their employees. They wanted to
Yes.
sell back the hotel to the employees, and they just said to them, what else can we do? What can we do for you, for your families? And at that time, they just said, we're really not pleased with the education that we're receiving in Southside St. Petersburg.
Wow.
And if it's within your vision, if you can do something within the educational realm. So he and his wife went on this major adventure, really throughout the United States, and found the Miguel Nativity, network at the time, and found a school in the New York, Manhattan area. But it was an all-boys school at the time. But Jeff Fortune will never forget getting off the subway, getting off the train with with his wife, and some young men dressed in uniform, looking at him in the eye, shaking his hand, and being amazing young men.
Yes.
And these were children that were, raised at the time, difficult times in the Bronx.
Yes,
And it was
yes.
just rough.
Oh, no.
Now, those kids were going to school till 9 p.m.
Wow.
Wait a minute now. They were going to school until what?
They were getting there early and leaving at 9
9
p.m.
Wow.
back then.
Dedicated.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
And so our school is not open. I always tell our kids, we're open 11 hours a day. So we are there till 6 p.m. Our kids come at 7 and they stay till 6. But anyway, so we started as an all-boys school, and we did follow that model. They liked the model. They brought it back to St. Petersburg. And voila, one thing after another. They worked with Sanderland Community Center next door,
Dick,
who's
that's
right next to
door.
us.
Yes.
And got that land over there, and before you know it, you saw that one building sprout. And it
Yes.
started with an all-boys school. 2 years later, we introduced females as well. So
Very
we
good.
are co-ed. We do teach our kids in gender-separated classrooms. We've
Okay.
kept that up through the years, and that continues. And they're co-ed throughout the day at different parts of it, but
Right.
we teach them in the core. So that's a little bit. Sometimes some people don't really know that history.
We wanted to hear it.
Wow.
That's why you're here.
You've been an apple in our eye that everybody just kind of wondered, oh, what's that all about? But there's going to be probably a certain amount or certain eligibility of children that can attend there in some way. So what are the eligibility requirements for the academy prep?
It's really not what people would think.
Okay.
Because they see preparatory, they see academy prep, that prep.
Yeah.
And it kind of scares people off, I think, a little bit.
Uh-huh.
But really, we want to serve the community that we're within.
Okay. Yes,
Most
yes,
of our
yes.
families are really within a 2-mile radius and come from the public school system all around us. And that's what we
Okay,
want to be and
yes.
how we want to remain.
Yes. Okay.
It's really to make that difference where we are. So we
Yes.
want to be that community school.
Yes.
So really students, it takes a parent or an advocate, an auntie, a grandma, someone that says, we just want more.
A little extra.
We
Yeah, sure.
just want
Sure.
more.
Sure.
And, I
Yes.
wish we could take a lot of what we do and instill it in a lot of schools all around us.
I'm
Because
sure you
truthfully,
do.
we can't do it by ourselves.
Yes.
If we're going to transform an entire community, I do feel that at a larger scale, they could take a lot of the aspects of what we do and implement that. But as you know, it's a lot of red tape.
Yes, it
And
is.
that's why we're a private school, because we don't have to go through that,
Well-
and we can implement those kinds of things.
Yes,
Not only
yes,
that,
yes.
you've got public school directly across the street from you.
Yes,
And I
yes.
hope that you are an influence upon the children that are there. When they leave school, probably you guys are still, cracking the books. Y'all
you
still
are.
cracking.
You are.
You're
You
still
are
cracking the books.
You are still got it going on.
But
Because as you know, if the kids are there 11 hours a day, we're there
Yes.
12 hours a day, right?
Yes,
Like
exactly.
before and after
Oh
and that
my
kind of thing.
goodness.
exactly.
But so really, a family just has to say, we're ready. We want more, and they
Okay.
come in and they
Exactly.
learn a little bit about us.
Okay.
And we do have an entrance exam.
Okay.
But
An
really, that
okay.
exam is really just to kind of let us know where they are, kind of how they're doing.
assessment.
Okay.
Yes, it's an assessment, and they only, what helps us is if they make a 60 or better. We're not talking A's, B's, C's, D. I mean, we're just, a 60 or better is what we
Right.
look for.
Okay.
But if the family says, look, I know they didn't do well on your assessment, but look at their grades. They're improving in their grades. Their testing scores are improving. There's been a lot of havoc in their life right now. And so every family is really kind of a case by case basis.
Okay.
That test is really just kind of a barometer to let them know.
At least that part.
To give us a
yes.
starting base.
What's your grade level arrangement there at Academy Prep? What grades do you entertain there now?
5th through 8th.
Okay.
Oh,
And
just 5th through 8th? Okay.
But we only admit in the 5th and the 6th grade. You can't come to Academy Prep as a 7th or 8th grader.
Okay.
Okay, so you have to be there
okay.
from the very beginning in order to go
Yes.
through the whole process.
Yeah, they can
Okay.
come in at 6, and part of the reason for that is we want to prepare them for some of the best schools in St. Petersburg.
Okay.
As well as magnet, fundamental, and boarding schools.
Wow.
So our kids are going to
you
boarding
have,
schools.
You have connections
Yes,
too.
very big.
Okay,
Yes.
that's a big thing because oftentimes I'm a grandparent, great grandparent, really.
Yay!
And I'm grateful to have lived through to the point where I can have an influence upon my children. They're not here, but I've always told them that education process is so important to the generations to come, and to not have that. I have kids right now within my family that I know need a little extra.
Yes,
okay,
absolutely.
and it's not that they're this way or that way. It's just that sometimes it takes a village to run
We are
a
that.
kid.
As they
you
say,
know?
a village to raise the children.
It takes a village to run and raise
yes,
them
it
children.
do.
And so I often wish that there were more places like Academy Prep around the country so that our children can get a little bit more of advanced nature. It's not that I have anything against public school. I'm a public
and we don't
school
either.
attendant.
Right. Yes.
But we know that there are some that could actually soar
Yes.
because of a little extra.
Yes.
Lacey, I want to ask you something.
Okay, Judy,
I'd love
after
to
this
share.
question, I have a question.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I'm just kind of taking over.
I know you are.
So I'm so excited about this. Though,
It
'cause
is-
I've
it is
always
exciting.
It's been like a real big mystery because
is.
nobody's ever
Isn't it
shared.
crazy?
Yes.
And we are the best kept secret in St. Petersburg.
I know, but you're
You're not.
growing.
No, you're not.
Well,
because I
you feel-
told you.
yeah.
I told you years ago. Someone was talking about Academy.
Oh, they've been
Yeah.
talking
And
about it for a long
remember,
time.
I was saying, is there something special about the children that's going there that they were teaching them, or the curriculum?
Yes.
And we could not. And so as you kept talking, I know who it was now. It was a young boy that was going there, and his parent had sent them there, and they was telling me about the process they had to go through.
Yes.
And so that's why I know
Yeah.
it
Praise
was
God.
Academy Prep.
Yes.
Go ahead,
Listen,
Judy.
all I want to know, maybe Lacey can address this, maybe it has to be, I just want to find out what your academic program is all about. Can you share some of the courses and things that academically?
Sure. So I'm the director of development, and I can definitely talk about the free tuition and how our students are all provided with a private school education. Gina can probably speak more about the curriculum. But
Okay.
before we move on, I just want to make sure that all the listeners know that our incoming students, while they have to be incoming 5th or 6th graders, there's also a financial component there. So 100% of our students are from families who qualify for free or reduced lunch.
Yes.
Wow.
Okay.
So
They
100%
have
of
to.
them. They have to. That's how this whole
Right.
thing works.
Yes.
So it doesn't matter if you're a straight A student. It doesn't matter if you check all the boxes. You have to be from a family who qualifies.
Wow.
And that's part of our mission because
Okay.
we really want to serve those who qualify for those
Okay.
need-based
Exactly.
scholarships.
Exactly.
So
That's I don't know who thought of that search engine, okay, to pick out the children that would qualify, but they had to really encompass, okay, who really needs to have
Exactly.
the advantage, and are disadvantaged. And so, wow, what a great criteria. How often or how can you, I don't know, some people have like a waiting list. They don't know whether they're going to get in. What's the actual time frame in which one can expect, if they're in a 5th or 6th grade position, to come into the program? Would it be like the first time, or would they have to apply?
there's a lot. There's a lot
I
that goes
know.
into it.
I can imagine. All right, who's going to be the one that addresses that?
Well, it really just depends. If they
Okay.
come in, we start to do open houses like in November and December, because families start thinking about, well, what about next year? But November and December, you're just trying to get sometimes just through
I
life,
know.
right?
Exactly.
And so, but if we can, we try to bring them on campus just to learn a little bit about us, and then starting in January is when we start saying, well, come back in and see if you're interested. Start to test and interview and those kinds of things.
Okay.
And so then at that point, they could actually be invited to come for a summer session.
Okay.
So one of the things, like, there's so much, like when we talked about what are we going to do for a half hour, we could literally talk about this for an hour.
For 5 hours.
I know.
There's
That's
just
why
so-
you're here.
There's so much to encompass.
I know.
So
That's
they
why
come for
you're
a summer
here.
session.
Yes,
And they
yes.
also, are interviewed by our counselor, and
Okay.
we like to know, as you said, the village. We want to know the whole family.
Okay.
When this child comes to our campus, we want to invest in their entire life. We want to know them. They want us to know us. We want parents to trust us. It's just that partnership. And so that's why when somebody talks about what they went through, it's because once they come to our school and start with our school, we really really want more than anything for them to be with us 3 and 4 years. We want to become that second family.
Sure.
And so that's real important to us. So that's why in the process, it's important that the family is also committed. In other words, getting their children to school.
Exactly.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
Because we don't have a bus system.
Get them there
Right.
and coming to
That's
get
a
them.
commitment. Everybody has
Yes.
to be committed to the process.
Exactly. Now that's really good.
And so, and sometimes public schools don't really have that ingredient that they can really mandate. You know, we do have engagement hours with families and things like that. So, but it does, like I said, it doesn't have to be the parent. It can be an older sibling or anything like that. But you know, to say that, it could be a month, like a month turnaround time that they know that they're going to be coming. But they come in that summer session too, and in that summer session, those 3 weeks, they learn who we are. We kind of have like a
tryout period.
tryout of 3 weeks of school.
Okay.
So the returning students, it's more learning.
It's a continuation
Yes.
of their current learning, so we don't have that summer learning loss that we know happens across the board.
It does.
That's good.
Everybody goes
That's
blank
good.
about that time.
Right.
You know, take the summer vacation, the kids like the.
But we don't let that happen.
Very bored. Some of them get bored after like 2 weeks.
They're ready to go
come
back. Our kids are
That's
ready to come
good.
back,
That's
and a
good.
lot of them will admit it to you.
Yeah.
as
It's
well.
it's a difference in that type of learning process because you look forward to, and that's how you want your kids. You want your kids to have a hunger and thirst for knowledge.
Yes.
And if they have a program like yours at Academy Prep that does that, more power to you.
And we do tell our
And to
families
them.
to make sure they sign up for their school choice second school. We tell them, please make sure you do that because
Okay.
when
For
your
high
kid-
school, because when they leave you, it's high school time.
Right, but I mean when
Yes.
they're interviewing and they're
Yes.
looking to
Oh,
see
okay.
at our school, because we want to make
Yes.
sure that if they come in the summer and it's not for them, we want
Yes.
to make sure that they have that school that they're already
Right,
enrolled in,
right,
so that
Okay.
they can have that second choice.
fall back on.
And sometimes students come and we have a lot of structure, you know, and we do a lot of handshaking, which lately we've had to do elbow knocking.
That's all right.
I know. That's don't
back
start it with the high five.
But we took that theme with the Miguel Nativity Network with, you know, just personalizing and teaching our students to not be afraid to communicate with individuals, to feel good about speeches. We've won the Pinellas County School Speech Contest now with
Praise
all the other
God.
middle schools.
Wow.
You know, so there's just so much that goes into the curriculum, to our academic intervention. You know, we have a lot of our students that come to us behind grade level.
Wow.
That test we were talking about
Yeah.
isn't because we're just testing cream of the crop, the kids that are already making A's. We have just a plethora and a different depth, you know, of kids and families and where they come from and the support system. Some have a
Yes.
greater support system, some don't. You know, some have been through much more tragedy than any of us ever want to think about at a very young age, you know, before they're even in fifth
Yeah,
grade.
it's a lot.
yes,
It's a
and
lot out
yes,
there.
Yeah, and
and
all of that
yes,
comes into
yes.
play. And you know,
Absolutely.
to work in Academy Prep, you have to love it. It is your ministry. It is
Okay.
not a
See,
job.
ministry.
It is
Yes, yes,
you know, like
yes.
you cannot
Yeah.
be there if
Ministry.
you don't love
Exactly.
our children,
Yeah.
and if you are not fully dedicated.
It's not about the
to it. It
Benjamins.
is not. It is not, and you
It's-
can't. You really can't work there
Yeah.
if you're not. And it's not personal. You know, every year we start the year with like, hey, is this the place for you? Because this is who we need to be for these children.
Well,
and the children
staff-wise,
first.
Yes.
staff-wise, it's
Yes.
important too.
Now let me get in here. Let me see. I want to thank God for my co-host today who went overboard and let me hardly ask no questions.
What's our time, folks? What's our time now?
But anyway, I got to get a
sorry, Miss
question into in here. I wanted to know. You said that the grade that they needed to make at least a 60, right?
yes.
Okay. Now, what is your criteria and curriculum for children with bad behavior? I know that you probably do have some students, or they don't come in the door with that. How are you handling that?
Well, especially because when they come in, especially at that fifth grade level, their classes have been so different. And we love, in fact, I probably should have brought a student to interview, and come in, because it's really fun to hear just their
You can
perspective.
always come back.
You know,
can
we
always
can come back. It is a lot of
Yes.
fun to hear from them, because they
Yes.
will tell you. A lot of them will say, well, my grandma brought me here. Who wants to go to school for 11 hours a day?
Yes.
You know what I mean? When they come in, they
Yes.
come in the summer, a lot of times they're grumpy
yes.
because they've been out of school for 2 weeks and and then we start school for 3 weeks. And who wants to go to school in June? Because they're thinking, I just got out of school. So when they come in, they are not exactly happy campers.
I can imagine.
So we do understand that aspect, that they're not, excited to be there. And also some kids, when they first come in, their thought is, if you get near me or you bump me, I'm going to fight you. Like we're going to fight. And so, but what's exciting is we'll get like a 7th grade student, young man, or an 8th grade young man that will see them on the basketball court and say, hey, you know what? We don't do that here. We don't do that at Academy Prep.
So
cut it out. So
peers
peers even know that this is the Academy Prep way, and our kids know the term, the Academy Prep way.
Okay.
Like this is not how we do things. We understand. So we'll bring parents in to say, look, this may have been like what was the status quo,
school,
but here this is what we have to do, and this is where we go. And so then we work with them. We have a dean of students, a lovely man, Ken Watson, who's very familiar with the area. I was born in St. Pete, by the way.
Hey,
got to throw that in there.
Me too. One of the few natives.
High five. So just knows our kids and understands them, and we get that some kids are going to be rougher around the edges than others. Some have a longer path to go, a longer journey in that way, but they understand the expectation. They understand who we need them to be.
Make it clear
by the time they leave, so that they can go to those next levels.
Yes.
And what I love about what you also said is that the teachers are prepared in the way that knowing that this is the way it's going to be, that we need you to be totally committed. Just like nurses in the hospital. Okay, some are nurses who just have a heart for people that are sick and want to give them the best care. Then you have people that are nurses that you are there for the paycheck, and you may not give it your all in all, but you do work. But sometimes you may not be kind or whatever when you walk in there. But however, it seems like you all saying this is the commitment criteria, that you're all in, or I guess
or there's just another place to work.
Exactly.
It's not personal.
It's how everybody,
nobody's making you work here.
Whatever rolls your boat is what they say. But you have to have a compassion and help to be in that type of system.
You do.
Yes.
You do.
I am really so very thankful for the fact that you guys open up the great box of mystery for us who have been in the community, who have watched you for the last 22 years grow and grow and grow, and hear from a distance what's going on there. You guys gave us some very in-depth information, some very powerful information, and I know that you're going to probably get a lot of informational type of calls. Give us the telephone number that the audience can contact in order to get in touch with you to find out if their child or someone in their family may qualify. I'm going to let you do that, and then we're going to roll into the last part of our show, which we're going to talk about a little virus stuff. We only have about 4 to 5 minutes left in the broadcast. So give us your information on how we can contact you.
Yeah, because we have just about another month window right now for anybody that wants to enroll.
Okay.
And that's to the end of April? Or what?
Yes, really pretty much to the end of April. And we have a lot of spots for 5th grade. And I will encourage those families. There's a lot of families that don't want to move their child in 5th grade, and they want to wait till 6th. But then there's not as many spots.
Yeah, exactly.
There's a lot of spots in 5th grade.
Okay.
But I think that a lot of times, and I can understand somebody not wanting to let their child finish their 5th grade year where they're at. But what a lot of families don't understand is if their child's not being bullied, and if maybe their child, let's say, is passing.
Yes.
No news is good news, right? But what we're finding is the kids that are coming to us, sadly, from a lot of our area schools, they're coming to us below grade level.
Okay.
And so if we can get them in 5th grade,
You
we
can
need
pull
them
up a little
in
bit.
5th grade.
Okay.
Yeah.
They have to be there the 4 years, 5
Give us that
6, 7,
information so that we don't run out of time.
So you can call us at 727-322-0800.
Repeat it.
722-322-0800.
That's Academy Prep.
Okay. Thank you.
Do you have an online
We
contact
do,
website?
yes. www.academyprep.org/St. Pete.
Okay.
You can just go to
Good.
Repeat that
academyprep.org.
again. Yes.
It's
Repeat it again.
www.academyprep.org/St. Pete.
Very
That's
good.
good. Now, let me conclude by saying this to you, ladies. I want to thank you so very much for when the email was sent to you in November of last year, that you quickly responded. And I am very thankful for you accepting this invitation to be on Matters of
Thank
the
you
Heart
inviting us.
Radio Ministry. And I want you to come back again, okay?
We'd love to.
In the
And I
near
do want you
future.
to know we start every day in prayer.
Oh,
just so you
thank
know.
you. All right.
Right in there.
And amen.
I start every day in prayer.
Listen, if for
with
no
the students.
reason to transfer your child, look at Academy Prep because they start with prayer.
Prayer.
Amen. and
That's
praise
what
every
I'm
day.
talking
Praise the
about.
Lord.
Every
Praise
day.
God.
Praise
Praise
the
God.
Lord.
Gina and Lacey, thank you.
Yeah, it was
Thank
wonderful.
you.
It
Yes.
was so good to hear the information and to be able to follow through and to know exactly what you're all about. And let me tell you, I'm thrilled now. I'm really thrilled now that I have the information. I can share it with somebody.
You can, Judy. Now we're gonna have Judy gonna share just a little tidbits of this coronavirus.
I only have 3 minutes.
The coronavirus. Well, just give them what you can.
Okay, listen. This was shared with us with Brother
Just
Glenn with the Becoming God's Man event, and I thought it was very well presented. Listen, if you have a runny
right ahead.
nose and you got a little spit going on, you have just a common cold. In most cases, the coronavirus is new. It's a pneumonia type of virus. It's a dry type of virus. It will not give you this runny nose. The new virus is not heat resistant. It can be killed with temperatures just 78 to 80 degrees Fahrenheit. So get in the sun, people. Get in the sun. Go sunbathing, okay? Drink hot water. Get tea in your system. Don't go to the ice cubes. Stay in the hot and in the room temperature. Now, if someone sneezes around you, it takes about 10 feet for the droplets to go. So stand a distance of 6 to 10 feet from the people that are near you. If you feel or suspect someone may have this, it's no longer airborne after 10 or 15 feet. It's got to crawl or something to get on something. So just stay 10 feet, about 10 feet from everybody. Metal surfaces, it will last for 12 hours. So wipe down anything that's metal, your car handles, your door, things like that. You don't think about a doorknob, but watch those areas. If you do have to come into something that is fabric, it can survive only maybe about 6 to 12 hours. So make sure that if you touch anything that's metal, that you do take the time to wash your hands, use a hand sanitizer,
Yes.
those things that they're
Yes.
telling you. Also, gargling is important because it is a preventative. Use a little just salt water. If you don't have Listerine, you can't buy Listerine, just use that because it will wash out that which is in your mouth or maybe in your sinus cavity, have you drain that out. Can't emphasize this enough. Get your bottle of water, keep it in your hands. This is your protection. H2O. Okay? H2O. We are about 90% water. Drink that water because what you want to do is
Yes.
keep your system flowing. Some of the symptoms are going to be sore throat longer than 3 days. I only have about 1 minute left. And if you have
Exactly.
any nasal fluids that enter into your trachea and your lungs, that's what's going to cause you the pneumonia. And that'll happen about 5 or 6 days further. If something just lasts, just make sure that you get to health facility and get yourself diagnosed. High fever, is one of the things that also is associated with it. So nasal congestion is not like the normal kind. Be cognizant of that. Be prepared that you know that you are drowning it with water, lots of water, everybody. And use your hand sanitizers or your sprays, even alcohol. This is 91% alcohol. And you can just spray that on anything and just make sure that you keep your hands always doused. Now we're getting ready to roll down the hour. We only have about probably 20 seconds left on the clock.
Well, let me conclude. Okay,
Go,
thank you,
Princess,
sweetie.
go.
Thank you. We want to thank our special guests today, Lacey and Gina, for coming in today. Great teachers, representatives of Academy Prep School. And we want to thank that. And I want a special thanks to my co-host today, Bishop Judy Rivers. No, told her a minute ago, love her, love her, love her. Did you want to let me get a question in? But however, praise God, because she is the very best, the very best. I'm so glad that I was blessed to have her here
you,
today
sister.
with
I
me.
love
Love
you.
her.
I love you
And
to life.
so, for those of you that are interested in scheduling a radio broadcast with Princess Denise Wright
Roll it
of
up.
Matters of the Heart, give me a call at 727 488-8818. We have a broadcast the second Saturday of each month here from 12 to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. With that being said, God bless you. Have a God-filled day. And please tune in to our next broadcast on the second Saturday in April. Love and blessings.
Be safe. God bless you.